Hi, I'm Jake with Fine Piano Tuning and Restoration. Today I wanted to do a quick video and show you how I spruce up the cabinets on these older mahogany, walnut, oak finishes that are a lacquer finish. So if you got a piano and it's like made 80s or later, unless it's a real Baldwin, if you got a newer piano, it's probably a polyester finish, that real high gloss. And this stuff just won't work with, you don't want to do anything to that real high gloss polyester finish. But these older pianos, occasionally I get trade-ins, like I've got a Baldwin sitting right over there. And this piano is a customer's, this one's a Baldwin as well. It just wasn't in the budget to do a complete refinish, so it takes so much less time. I'll show you what I'm doing here, just to kind of fill in with color all these little bumps and bruises and scratches and sun bleaching that are just everywhere all over the piano. And it's not really that I'm fixing the scratches, I'm just coloring them. So if you run your finger over it, you're still going to feel the scratch, but if you stand back away from the piano, nothing's going to be egregious and say, wow, that looks rough. When I worked at the dealer, I did this to literally hundreds of pianos, and it just gives it a little sparkle. So what you need, not much, pair of gloves, Restore Finish. I like it over Old English because they've got a better selection of colors, I think. A respirator as opposed to just a dust mask. The dust mask isn't going to do anything to help you. Some steel wool, 4/0 steel wool, real fine. Some terry towels, clean terry towels. I like to shake the lint out of them if they're new, because you'll get little tiny white specks in your finish, and I don't know what it is about the bleaching process. It really sticks to the finish. And you got to take a little razor blade and scrape them off. And then, so after you've wiped off the excess Restore Finish, you can spray a clear coat of your choice. I recommend a lacquer, not a polyurethane or a urethane or whatever, if it is a lacquer finish. So Deft has been my spray lacquer of choice. Primarily because of this nozzle right here. It's got a real nice spray pattern. That's just like a spray pattern out of a gun. Now it doesn't shoot as much material, but it gives you a professional look. And so if you're spraying from left to right, or you can adjust the nozzle to spray up and down. So you can just adjust your spray pattern with that. However, the new Deft, look at that. That is cheapo right there. So I'm not getting paid for any of these products, but yeah, last time I picked this up, I was very disappointed to see that. I'll just put it that way. So I like to use semi-gloss if the semi-gloss, which is the sheen. So satin is going to be your more matte sheen, and semi-gloss will give it a little gloss, or you can go high gloss with the gloss. Basically, the more beat up the piano is, I would go a flatter sheen, so satin. On this one, I'll probably do a semi-gloss because it's in decent shape. So yeah, I'll get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak my steel wool in the Restore Finish, and I'm going to go in the direction of the grain, and that's going to do two things. It's going to coat the finish with the color, so it'll fill in the scratches with color. And then it will abrade the finish so your clear coat will stick better. forgot to mention there's different colors of the Howard's Restore Finish. Now the color, like just because it says mahogany doesn't mean you can't use it on any wood. So they just assign a name to the color. So if your piano's walnut and it's a lighter walnut, you probably actually want to use a golden oak. Just from experience, the walnut color is a little too dark for that color, or for that veneer, because the grain will just go black on you and it will look unnatural. So here's the part of the piano that was sun bleached, and usually when it's this bad you got to go over it a couple times because it'll soak in. It'll just continue to soak in. So I'll do it once, and then kind of near the end I will go over it again. And you can see the spots that I missed, but luckily I do go over that again. So it just kind of colors in the scratches, it darkens the color a little bit. If the piano's really worn, like the edges are worn, that's when I use the markers, just the touch-up markers from either Mohawk, or you can get them at Menards or Lowe's or wherever. So just the edges, because this stuff won't soak into the edges very well, so you can just kind of paint over the edge, either a mahogany or dark brown or something, or even a black if it's dark enough. And I dropped my phone. And you can see not only are there scratches, but you can see where somebody else used a touch-up marker. And unfortunately, those are permanent. So the only way I could get those out and get that touch-up where it's obviously been somebody took a marker to it would be to strip it. So the Restore Finish is coloring in the scratches. But once I get the clear coat over that, it kind of hides that a little bit. It's still noticeable, but we're not going for perfect here. I think this piano was stored in a barn. I don't know for how long. So I restrung it. There were some cracks in the soundboard. I shimmed the cracks. Refinished the soundboard. So now I'm going to start wiping off the excess, which you'll need to do. I usually do it twice. I'll go over it once and then go over it again. So I folded up the rag, and once the section of rag gets full, you move it to you can fold it a different way and continue to clean that up. oh, and it's an oily rag, so don't just throw it in your trash. Throw it outside or something. Soak it in water so it doesn't spontaneously combust and burn your shop down. Okay, so now I'm going to start spraying on the clear coat. And I use these, any cans that are almost empty, I'll use those on the legs or on less noticeable parts. And you got to be strategic when you're spraying. I like to go, so with the restore finish, I like to go from the top down. So if it runs, I can catch it. With the spraying, I like to go from the bottom up. So if there's overspray, oh yeah, and I was showing you that bottle. It's a brand new bottle. And you press the nozzle down and it spits out at like 30 degrees to the left. It doesn't spit out straight, which is really weird. Anyway, so you just got to be strategic with the overspray. So I'm going to spray the lid last. So if there's any overspray, it doesn't land on the lid and make the finish all rough. And I kick my fan on to carry out the overspray periodically. I don't keep it on the whole time. At this time it was raining outside, so the humidity is 100% and you'll get blushing. So I just spray a little bit and then kick the fans on periodically. And it's just taking forever with these aerosol cans. They don't add much. See there, I just kicked the fan on. They don't add much material at a time. So I said, screw it, I'm just gonna spray it on with a real gun. Which I think like, a minute worth of spraying. I just blasted it on there, you'll see. There. So this is semi-gloss as well, Deft. It's just in a can instead of an aerosol. Mix a little lacquer thinner in it to thin it. And I'll do the edges first. And it's spraying so much on at a time. I can go so much quicker than with those aerosols. Because if you go too fast with the aerosol, then you don't get enough material on. And if you don't get enough material on it, I think it's called dry spray, where if you spray it, you don't get enough on for it to level out. So you just it's like a spritz. And it just feels rough. So you have to get enough on it so it'll all level out and feel smooth. Which that whole lid just took like, 30 seconds. And with aerosols, I would have gone through probably one full can, and it would have taken probably 5 or 6 minutes. I'm just holding that. Oh, and the new cans, they're really hard to press down. The nozzle is. Whereas the old ones, it was real easy. And the can, it just keeps dripping on me. The lacquer out of the nozzle, like dripping on my gloves. So you got to worry about it dripping on the finish, or on the piece that you're spraying. And I have that blue blanket in there just to catch the overspray so it doesn't land on the strings. And what I just set down there was the bench, all taken apart. That's one of those Jansen artist benches, adjustable with the tufted top. That top had been chewed on by a dog, so I took it to the refinisher. And when you see that, that thing looks brand new when it came back. They did a fantastic job on that. It was a little bit pricey, but one of those new benches, mahogany with the brass ferrules, is like $1,100 something. So I didn't mind paying them to do it right. Back at the old shop I used to work at in Indy, we would have just an area full of benches, and a guy, he was an auto, he replaced the leather and the upholstery on seats in cars, but he would come in and just pick up like 5 or 6 benches at a time, like every 2 weeks, and either reupholster them or he could fix the leather. So he was very talented. And doing this to the whole piano, it levels out the whole piano so it all looks the same. So you don't have shiny spots, you don't have rough spots. Obviously, it colors the scratches, but it just all looks even, and it looks, I would say, showroom ready, I guess you could call it. Yeah, we used to just wheel the pianos out back onto the drive at the back of the shop and do it a nice day. So yeah, here's the before. And the one spot I don't fix, I'll probably fix, actually repairs that top on both the left and the right side, the veneer where it's punched in there on the front arms. So right there on the right, and the same thing on the left. And the lid wasn't too bad. It looked a little bit worse in person. And here's the after. And you can still see the veneer on the top left. But, I mean, it looks beautiful. For an hour and 14 minutes worth of work, now I got pretty fast at it. And with the casters, shining up the casters makes a huge difference. So you can still see, and I slow down here a little bit where that was touched up. But if you're not looking for it, you don't really notice it. You can see the new strings are nice and shiny in there. And the finish is still a little bit wet on the top lid where I blasted a whole bunch of finish with the spray gun. So I think they're going to be really happy with that.
my customer. And there's the bench. Look at that bench. Isn't that beautiful? Shout out to Ravens Upholstery. They're in Mishawaka here, up by me. Thanks for watching.